Start, Timan.
Yes, sir. I'm just sharing my screen. Okay.
Please, you have 15 minutes, and like one by one, you must try at least three of your team member explain different parts. So your time starts. Please,
No.
I
Okay. I'm
listen.
doing the first one. Okay.
That's
So
your
in the
decision. That's
oh
your
no, sir.
team,
Actually,
whoever
I'm
you.
communicating to my team. I'm communicating to my team.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. The first one is the main thing is the project management preparation. The first topic is the fundamental. In fundamental, we studies about the different type of organization. We have like projectized organization. We have functional, and then we have a hybrid of it, which is a matrix. In matrix, we have like three types: the strong matrix, in which the project manager has more power, and the weak matrix, where functional manager has more power. Then is balanced matrix, where they both share the power. Then in the organization project management, we have different strategy to achieve the business value. For that, we make portfolio. In portfolio, we have program, projects, and operations. And then there are some influences in the organization, and they are EEF, which are consist of like market condition, legal regulations, and infrastructure. Then we have OPAs, which are the internal to the organization, like the processes, procedures, and policies. Then in the organization, we have a PMO, Project Management Office, which plays an important role. They have a role like sportive, controlling, or directive. For the leadership, we have 6 different styles of the leadership, which are mentioned here. Servant leader is the most important in agile thing, in the in the adaptive thing. And there can be the role of a project manager, the combination of any of these leadership goal. For the project management, the first part comes is the business case. In business case, we do the need assessment, the business value, and the scope of the project. Then we make the business management plan, the benefit management plan. And after we go through this, then come the project charter, which is the starting point of the project, in which we have like all the high level requirement mentioned. Then for the project, we have different life cycles of the project, which can be predictive, incremental, iterative, agile, and hybrid. Then the second thing is the stakeholder, which are the very important part of the project. So in stakeholder, we first identify the stakeholder, then we classify them to using different techniques. Like in the 2D matrix, we use power interest matrix. And if we add any third uh, knowledge part in it, influence part in it, we can card as a 3D matrix or a cube matrix. In the salience, we use the power, urgency, and legitimacy. And then we also have like influence or directional chart, in which we have upward, downward, sideward, and outward influence of the stakeholders. Then we make a stakeholder register, and in stakeholder, we plan for the engagement of the stakeholder. The main concern is using the stakeholder assessment metric. We analyze their current state, and we make strategy to get their desired state. Then we monitor the stakeholder and control the stakeholder thing. Then communication is one of the most important part of a project, and it is the main responsibility of the project manager. We have like the basic model of the communication is we have like a sender and we have a receiver. Then there is medium of communication between them, and there can be noise in the medium of the communication. There are different methods of communication, like we have pull communication, push communication, interactive, like we can say the face-to-face or two-way communication. There are different types of communication. Verbal can be formal and informal. Written can be formal and informal. There are 4 important R's of the communication. The information should be right at the right time to the right people for the right impact. Then we do the planned communication management, in which we analyze our communication and we consider 7 C's, like communication should be correct, comprehensive, and all these things. For the communication, we use like different type of votings. Like if the decision can be unanimous, autocratic, we can go with the majority, and the polarity. Then we have like lesson learned registered to learn from, in which we put all the thing we learn in the ongoing project. Then we use information radiators. Anyone from here want to take like Aarti, Preetham, anyone?
Jhangi, please continue.
Okay. For the next part is team and resources, and
Jahangir, please Kindly stop. No, Shazay, we cannot continue. Each team member must explain part by part. So, Arti, can you take it from
Yeah,
here?
I can go for the team. Thank you. Yes, sure. So essentially, in the teams, there are Tuckman ladder, 5 stages. Team goes through the forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning phases. And depending upon the type of or the ladder phase, the leadership actually varies. In the forming, the PM has to be directive, more of actually directing the team and giving more instructions. In the storming, there is a conflict, so PM will be coaching. In the norming, there will be kind of coming together back again on the same goal. So it will be more of a mentoring role. Performing will be a servant leader and delegating the tasks, and adjourning, of course, the team will be assigned to the next project at that point, or morning as such. We will create a team charter where we will establish like the ground rules, common values to be bound by while interacting with each other and while working on the project. Of course, when there are people coming together, there's bound to be some conflict. The stages of conflict, we can start with the problem to solve, escalating to the disagreement, escalate that further to the context and the crucial in the world war, which is like the topmost. The job of the PM is actually to de-escalate the issues based on where they find it. In the problem solving, he can let the team like brainstorm amongst each other, but never to let it escalate too much. Where is the next one? Teams management. Sure, yes, we'll estimate what resources we need, physical as well as like the team resources. We'll acquire them and we'll manage the team. While estimating, we'll do a couple of things like bottom down if you have like complete WS up, or bottom up, then top down if you need to use like analogous strategies, or you will also do some parametric or algorithmic situations. Research management plan. Whenever you're managing the team, you will assign like a RACI matrix, everyone, or you will assign the tasks to each member. Everyone in the team has to be, at least one person has to be accountable for each task, like responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. That is resource management. I will actually stop there because I'm not done with the risk. So if anyone wants to take that up, that'll be helpful.
Jangir, who else was in your team?
Like Umair, Sadiq, Preetham, and
Umar,
Shazid.
yeah, sure. Umar, can you carry on, please? Umar Sadiq? Umar? Umar
Okay,
Sadiq.
sir.
Yeah, please carry
Yeah.
on.
So the other topic is about the risk and risk. We identify the risk as first, and risk are the top two types, positive and negative, and we called it as opportunity and threat. And after that, after identifying the risk, we put it into a risk register and prioritize the risk, qualitative and quantitative, influence diagram and tornado and Monte Carlo analysis are the tools and technique to prioritize the risk. And in plan risk management, we respond the risk according to exploit, avoid, enhance, mitigate, share, transfer, or escalate, and we accept the risk according to passive and active acceptance. And the other topic is of quality. And quality, we agree to customer upon the cost of quality. The cost of quality is of two types, the conformance and non-conformance. And we benchmark the quality according to market standards, and we plan the quality management according to root cause analysis, Pareto chart, scatter diagram, and check sheet, checklist. And we monitor and control quality through sampling and inspection and audits, and we execute the managed quality, and we provide deliverables to control quality, and verified deliverables are then accepted through customer validation. And the other topic relates to the procurement. In procurement, we first of all make the buy and make analysis, then where to buy, and source selection criteria. In source selection criteria, we make a contract types. Those are of fixed price, and in fixed price we contain the firm fixed price, firm fixed price plus incentive fees, fixed price plus economics price adjustment, where we have long-term projects. And the other one is the cost reimbursement. In cost reimbursement, we got the cost reimbursement cost plus fixed fee, cost plus incentive fee, and cost plus award fee. And the other type of contract is time and material contract. And then we have got the project statement of work and bidder conference. Anyone else can
Okay, thank
continue?
you. Yeah, anyone? Paman was also in that team?
No,
Paman?
sir. I think Preetham, maybe Preetham, his
Pritam, you
guy,
are?
Yeah,
Pritam and
Pritam,
Shazib.
Preetham
Pritam, can
Shazib.
you carry on?
Agile.
Pritam?
Agile is a good topic.
yeah.
Okay,
Asha, you want me to go?
please,
Yes, yes.
please. That would be good. Guys, very important thing, it does not matter you do a good job, bad job. The purpose is you try to start getting the flow of PMP. The flow is the real thing. The exam is gonna ask you like things which when you go through the flow, you can easily answer. So that is the purpose of this assignment. So even if you feel a little bit hesitant, go ahead. We all are student here. Please, Pritham, continue.
Thank you. So I'll take up the agile. We have for the first, we'll go with the agile manifesto, agile principles, and agile roles wise. So in the mainly the agile manifesto, why we prefer their individual and interaction, and then working software and customer collaboration and responding to change. We accept the change more frequently in agile. Apart from that, in the when we talk about the agile principles, we definitely first try to satisfy the customer by delivering more frequently. We welcome change. Then we really would like to, with working together, trust and support. We definitely team need to be preferable to work into the face-to-face, maybe in the virtual team also. Apart sorry, this later wise. Yep. Maybe with that, we'll move to the agile role also. We have the product owner and then the development team and the scrum master. In mainly while managing the scrum, we have definitely a couple of things to remember. And that is for first to start with the product backlog, which is done by the product owner and customer on that. From that product backlog is being, we create the product backlog, nothing but the requirements. It has the user story, and then every user story will be having the definition of done, means the acceptance criteria created there, and the prioritization of the user story is done. For doing the prioritization, we follow a couple of techniques, that is Moscow, Monopoly, voting, 100 points, and the Kanban methods. In the sprint, when we come out, when we have a refined backlog, from that refined backlog we talk, means a team determine based on the product owner requirement that what is the most priority. Based on that, we create the sprint planning. In the sprint planning, we go with the kind of estimation with the story points, high level estimation, and based on the story point what we complete, that comes with the steam velocity wise. In the sprint, we do the daily stand-up where we ask 3 questions: what we did yesterday, what we're going to do today, and what are the impediments. Then after the sprint, we give a demo to the product owner, that is called sprint review. And then we have the sprint retrospective. Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so is there any topic left, Jangir?
Yes, sir. Actually, the scope, quality, a lot of still to
Yeah,
do.
scope. Shazib, can you carry on, please? Shazib?
Uh, yes, first start from integration. Integration, we define project charter. Then we have planning steps of integration. Plan integration, we combine all the subsidiary plans in a plan integration process. Then in manage integration, we direct and manage some work. We got some deliverables in manage integration. Then those deliverables go to control quality. If accepted, then it will become verified deliverables. After verified deliverables, it will go to customer check. If accepted, then it will become a accepted deliverable. So after this, we go to control integration process. In control integration, as I mentioned, that we validate the scope and control the scope. After that, we go to a closing integration. Apart from it, we have a scope topic also. In scope, first we get a requirement management plan, and then we go to requirement documents. requirement. Two types of requirement document: functional and non-functional. In scope, we create a scope baseline. Also, WBS work breakdown structure. We have a WBS dictionary. WBS dictionary contains all type of information related to WBS. Also, after that we control the scope. Then we have a topic schedule. In schedule, we prepare a schedule management plan. In schedule management plan, we have some dependencies, internal and some external, which are mandatory and discretionary. In schedule, we prepare work packages. We prepare in work package, we prepare activity list, activity attributes, and milestone list. Then go the two types of activities, successor and predecessor activities. We define the relationship based on finish, 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 start, 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 and start, finish. We define some lags and leads in our activities during scheduling stage. There are some methods of estimate during planning.
Thank you,
and
Shazib. Thank you,
yes.
Shazib. Thank you. So that's 15-minute, guys. Remember, stand up is 15 minutes. Three questions: what we did yesterday, what we are going to today, and is there any impediment or roadblock? So well done, team. You did a nice job, guys. Just remember the context of this thing. The context of this particular assignment is not to check your design ability or your communication ability or how much you remember and things like that. No, 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 no. It's more of a revision. It's to see the bigger picture, the helicopter view, how things add into all those areas. That's it. Whatever you can give your input, whatever you can share, whatever you know, the best thing. So team two, please carry the torch. You guys have 15 minutes. Team two, who was in team
I'm
two?
sharing my screen. Let me know when it's visible.
Okay. Yes, Indila, go ahead.
Okay, so we have started from the PMP where we have different components, fundamentals, stakeholders, communication, teams, risk, quality, cost, scope, schedule, integration, procurement, and others more. In the fundamentals, we have like the organizational project management, where we consider the OPA and EF and their impact on the project, and different type of the threats and the opportunities will be defined from here. In the fundamentals, we have tools and tech where that will be used to decide the project or the product that we are going to target. In this one, we have the need assessment where we do the feasibility report. And if it's not completed, then the project will not be selected. Then we have the business case and the BMP. And in the BMP, we have different technique and methods that we can use to evaluate the project benefit and details. After that, we have the project charter. Once it's decided, then we go for like one-page document for the requirement, description, objective, milestones, budget, key stakeholders, exit criteria if any, PM authority and PMO authority, and then we also add sponsor and its details in this one. In the fundamentals, we do also have the portfolios. What's the type of the organization we are working in? Either we are in the portfolio, we are covering program, projects, and operations. That how it's adding up into the organizational strategy. Then we have like the PMO, which is going to be directive, supportive, or controlling based on the different documentation and processes that we are going to follow. We have different leadership styles that should be choose transformational, transactional, servant leader, charismatic, international, or maybe we can the hybrid of each of the leadership styles that we have. Then we can also consider the organizational structure related to the functional, project ties, and matrix. In the matrix, we have balance, weak and strong, where the PM and the functional manager authority goes up and down based on the structure that we have over here. And then we have like the project management process groups, which are like 5: initiating, planning, execution, controlling, and monitoring. And then we go for the project closure. In the fundamentals, we do also have the life cycles where we have predictive, incremental, iterative, agile, and hybrid. After that, we have the stakeholder module where we do the identification. Tools and techniques that are used in this one are meeting, data analysis, expert judgment, interview, surveys, feedback, lesson register. All of these are being used. And the output will be the risk register where we do the categorization using the tools. We have influence matrix where we can define upward, downward, and sidewards based on the authorization and reporting structure. Then we have the salience model where we define power, urgency, legitimacy. Then we have the stakeholder cube, where we wanted to add a 3-dimensional extra attribute to evaluate, for example, the geographical location. And in this one, we also have power influence grid, where we evaluate their interest and the power, and then we categorize. Here we have high power, high interest, high power, low interest, low power, high interest, and then we have low power and the low interest. Based on this categorization, we evaluate that how we are going to manage them. After that, we have the stakeholder engagement plan, where we have the stakeholder engagement matrix, where we define the 5 categories: unaware, resistance, neutral, supporting, and leading. And based on this input, we define different strategies that we will need to manage the stakeholders. And here we evaluate them using the current engagement level, and then we have like the desire that we want to achieve using the strategies. In the stakeholder, we have the management, where we execute the plan. We plan different collaboration activities. We facilitate the stakeholders. We manage the team, and we develop the strategies. And then we have like the monitoring. And if any new stakeholders or anything that changes, then we have to repeat the process to continue with this one. And the next one we have is the communication model communication, and we have communication model, where we have sender receiver, and they basically encode and decode the messages, and anything that can disturb the messages are categorized as the noise, and receiver has to give feedback towards the sender. In the communication, we have different components. In the methods, we are covering push, pull, or interactive. Either we are giving, getting, or we are like interacting with the sender and receiver. In the components type, we have the formal, informal, written, verbal, and based on the needs, we decide that how we are going to proceed with these one. In the components, we have the effective communication, which basically covers the 4 rights, 4R and 7 Cs when we are like communicating with the stakeholder engagements. Then we have the communication management plan, and while developing this, we do the requirement analysis. We identify the stakeholders, we identify them as the team. We have the negotiation strategy for the teams. We go for like the group decisions for that either what are like the tech that we are going to define to handle the teams. Then we have the managed communication, in which we can use IR, retrospective, meeting, knowledge sharing sessions for the virtual or the large complex teams that we have. Then we do the monitoring of the communication. In this, we continuously do the variance analysis, that what was actual and what was planned. And then we have, if there is any change, then how we're going to manage the change. If we are going to like initiate through the change control board, and then we have approve and reject. And I would like to Rajiv to take over from this one.
Thank you. So basically, we have now a team or resource management plan, wherein first we manage the team. So we prepare the resource management plan by implementing the RACI, which is the responsibility, accountability, communication, and interactions. And then we come up with the conflict management, the team, wherein that we manage the different various levels of the conflict, which and resolve the conflict. We come up with a problem to resolve, disagreement. So basically a 5 level of conflict, what we have: that problem to resolve, disagreement, contest, we have a crusade, and very last is the world war. Then we come with a conflict management, a conflict resolution approach, wherein that we basically force or direct first, and we talk about the compromises, we do the withdrawals, and we do the smooth or basically accommodations, and for last we do the collaborations. We come up with that motivational theories, what we have, like emotional intelligence. We have like 5 different type of theories in the emotional intelligence. We manage that. Yeah, just come down. Can you just scroll up? Yeah. So you want to take me with Agile from here?
It's your team, it's your thing. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me take with Agile. Can you just scroll up more?
Do you want to start with the agile or teams?
Agile.
Okay.
So in basically Agile, we have a different type of methodology of Agile, like the lean, which include with the 7 principles, and basically overall lean concept is eliminating the waste. we have a different type of methodologies in Agile, like XP, story maps. We have a TDD, FDD, and obviously that Agile comes with the 12 principles also. Primary is a Scrum, wherein that in a Scrum we prepare that first Agile charter, in which we do the like votings. We have a votings, a different type of votings, especially dot votings and others. We have a roles in Agiles, wherein that we have a product owner, we have a Scrum Master and the development team. Development team is, I think, the self-organized team who manage that entire development among them. We have a PM roles, which is like basically which comes as a voice of customer. He is the owner who manages the product backlogs, and basically the product backlogs are prioritized with the different techniques, which is one of the popular is a Moscow, and another is that different is a Monopoly games and all. Processes in Agile, we like product backlog we manage. We come with the sprint plannings, in which basically based on the prioritization, we manage the sprint backlog, and we create a user stories based on the priorities of the user stories. It has its own iterations and consists of the three concepts, which is a card, conversations, and confirmations. In another one, like when in sprint, we manage that our daily stand-ups meetings, which talk about the basically a tripartition, that what we did yesterday, what we are going to do, and any blockers. Like finally, when the sprint get built, we do the review. Review, we basically go with that customer, wherein that we see that how many, what is the active software, working software has been built, and anything which is left, it again go back to that sprint backlog, and the reviews happen again in the sprint release planning. Finally, when we deliver successfully, then the team internally do that retrospective, where they set the agenda with the set the stage, gather the data, generate that insights, and then make document, and finally that they close that learnings in lesson learnings in retrospect. Yeah, and then obviously that there is a certain type of performance reports which comes, which is having like burn down charts and burn up charts. We also have Kanban reports, and based on that, they identify the team performance and what work has been done and what is work left.
I would like Asad to continue.
Okay. The next part is risk. Risk basically a probability. Probability of is risk is can be 99.99% probability, and we also have some risk appetite, how much risk we can agree, and this risk can be from EAF or from OPA. And after that we have this risk register, and in this register we have risk response, risk honor, risk mitigation, and who will respond that risk. And after that we have analysis, like two kind of risk: this qualitative risk and quantitative risk. Then have risk audit, risk review meetings, risk monitoring, and risk management plan, risk report, and then some types of risk: negative risk, positive risk, residual risk, and secondary risk. And also there is some risk is equal to probability multiplied by impact. Probability also have high value, low value, medium, and interest impact also. And then we can monitor the risk, like we have some policy like influence diagram and tornado diagram, Monte Carlo analysis, this kind of things for to analyze the risk, and some response of the risk, some negative, positive, and then is also the contingency plan, fallback plan, and this audit and risk review, and this kind of things in the risk. Can you please move down for the quality? Quality is basically what we quality is a thing which we agreed with the customer, and for that we have some standard benchmarking like ISO certifications or ISO 9000 certification or anything for that benchmark to comparing our product. And after that, in that we have cost of quality, which is cost of conforming and cost of non-conforming. And after that we have quality management plan, and we have quality metrics, KPI. And there is a main thing is the control, how to control the quality. This is some control chart, Pareto chart, and this the scatter diagram, and this sampling. And the major thing in quality is audit and inspection. And after that we have some journey of deliverables. In that we have first project chart after PMP, then execution. Deliverable go to quality control, quality if the quality, our internal quality accept, then they will go to the they will become the verified deliverable, and if no, then it's go back and to return back to the execution. And then after that, after verified deliverables, it will go to customer make it validate scope during make it validate scope, and if they accept that, then it become accepted deliverable. And there is also some kind of like design of X cause of effect and affinity diagram for this quality. And the next part is procurement part. I think so Mr. Sham Babu and or Pavan with us, he can explain if they want.
Yes, maybe I will continue. The procurement, next topic is procurement. If you see procurement, we have procurement management plan. First topic would be under the management plan, we have to identify the source of selection criteria. Then we have statement of work, where we will do the bidding, procurement, start, and the details, other details as well. We have in the procurement various contract types are available, which is fixed, variable, time and material, cost reimbursement. And in the procurement, first topic is make or buy decisions, then procurement control and procurement monitoring as well. So that's where high level we have identified few points here. Then can we move on to next? So scope management, as we all know, scope is one of the key factor for us when we start any project. Scope management, and scope requirement plan. These are the two dimensions. And in the scope management plan, scope filter, scope baseline. The scope filter, based on the priority, it will be filtered. Then we will have PSS, then WBS, WBD. Under the WBS, we have work packages, planning activities. In the scope baseline, we have PSS, WBS, WSD. So once we have all these details, then we will do the baseline of the scope. So further, if there is any change in the scope, then we will create a change request for the scope if there is any change. Then I think we covered scope management. Then we will move on to next. Then Sindilla, maybe I will ask our colleagues. Pavan, can you start with schedule? Hello, I think our team
So
was
the time is Sham Babu up at any reason. The time is up. 15 minutes is over. Thank you very much.
okay.
Team two. Team
If you give us 1 or 2 minutes, I can explain schedule and other things in 1 or 2 minutes. If you give us only 1 or 2
time box.
minutes.
When time box is time box, that is the purpose of time box. No?
Okay.
Exam is 2 hours and 30 minutes. So once 2 hours 30 minutes finish, it's finish. You can't say 2 more minutes. Okay, well done team two. I really like the way you guys made mind map. I really love the way how Sundila coordinated all the team, and Asad took that mental and gave that to Sham Babu. That's very well done. Well done team two.
Thank you.
So team three, please, Sundila, kindly stop your screen sharing. Sundila, team three, sorry. Team three. Abhishek, Ali Raza, Amir, Asibur Rahman, Usman. That's your team.
Okay.
Room 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Please share your
Ali
screen.
Raza,
Yeah. Who's gonna share it?
Ali would be sharing it.
Ali Raza, are you with us? Team 3, we are waiting. Yeah. Please, Ali Raza, go ahead, start. Ali Raza, we are unable to hear you.
The first thing, fundamental, is going to be explained by Haseeb. Haseeb, please take the lead.
Please go ahead.
In PMP, first of all, we have the fundamentals. In the fundamentals, first of all, we go for the basics of fundamental, in which is basically the organizational environment. in which we have a strategic objective, which in which we have the portfolios. Portfolios cover the strategic objective by doing the programs, and in programs we have different projects. In basically we in organization we have three different type of organization: functional based, projectized, and matrix. In matrix we have three types of matrix, like weak, balanced, and strong. This all depend upon the authority of project manager, what project manager have authority in this organization. Next, first of all, when the project charter is approved, then we work on the project. In the project we go for building a team. Before building a team, there is a business case. In the business case, we go for there are different project selection techniques. Basically, in business case, we do the benefit management plan. In benefit management plan, we work on the risks, time frame, metrics, and target benefits. And all of these things, we have the influences in the organization. In the influences, we have the OPA, which are organizational based, like processes and techniques which are come from the PMO. And then there are enterprise environmental factors, which are internal and external, related to environmental, social, economical, like these. Then we have different kind of development approach and life cycles. These are predictive, agile, and hybrid. Basically, most of the time we are working here on the agile.
Okay, Amir Saab, would you like to take the lead for the schedule and cost? Amir Saab, are you with me?
Yeah, Ali, I can discuss this scope baseline, schedule baseline, and cost baseline. I can discuss it.
Okay,
I can explain. So start with the cost scope.
Okay. Cool.
Where is the scope management plan? Start with the scope management plan.
This is Amir Saab.
Okay, can you make it little big? Okay. Where's the okay? So based on the predictive life cycle, we define the baseline, which include the scope baseline, schedule baseline, and cost baseline. So first item or first component in the predictive is the cost management plan. Under cost management plan, we make a scope management plan. We make a requirement management plan. We create a scope. We create a WBS. We create a WBS dictionary, and we control the scope and validate the scope. These are the 4 or 5 different processes we have to do it in scope management plan. Okay, and different outputs also comes in the scope management plan. The most important thing is the scope baseline, which consists of a scope statement, scope WBS, and WBS dictionary. Okay, this is the high level definition of the scope management plan. Second is the schedule. Can we go to the schedule management plan? Okay, in the schedule, okay, this is the second component of the baseline. Okay, here we define the schedule plan. Where we define how we are going to manage the schedule, each and everything we discussed and define it over here. And then the second process we do it define activities. What are the activities we are going to perform? Okay, based on the WBS. Second, third thing is the sequence the activities, where we organize the activities in the logical order. Okay, the order in which we are going to do the activities. And from here we get very important output, which is called network diagram. Network diagram, where we identify the critical path, leads, and lag. Okay, so based on the network diagram, we come to know, okay, how long the most biggest activity we have in this project, how long it will take to complete this project, okay, from the start to end.
Then we have to estimate activities duration, develop the schedule baseline, okay, and control the schedule. The control schedule is very important here, where we do the plan versus actual variances analysis and reports. And from here, we generate some raw data or uh, project work information reports we generate from here, which goes into the integration knowledge area. So this is all about the high level definition of the schedule. Now we can go to the cost. Ali? Okay. Third most important component in the scope baseline, in the baseline project baseline is the cost. Here we define the cost management plan. Okay, where we define how we are going to define the cost, basis of the cost, how we are going to define the cost, and how we are going to manage the cost in each and everything. Then we do the cost estimate. Okay, cost estimate is done at the activity level. Each and every activity we have to estimate. We have to estimate their cost. Okay, which is very, very important for in the project management. Then we determine the cost budget. In cost budget, we identify the contingency plan, contingency cost, and management risk management cost. Also, we have to include over here. Then we have the cost control cost. In the control cost, we do earned value calculation. Okay, and here we do the actual versus plan versus actual. Okay, what are the differences is comes, or whatever the reason the cost is high or low or under budget or over the budget or on budget, we identify over here. So this here we complete the cost management. So these are the third component for the baseline. So once we have the baseline ready, we can move forward for the other activities like quality, communication, resources. Yes.
Okay, Usman bhai, please take the lead.
Okay. So shall we start with the stakeholder?
Yes, you can take the lead for stakeholder.
Okay. So we have for the stakeholder, and in the stakeholder, we look into the types of stakeholder and then we identify the stakeholders, and we do a stakeholder analysis where we look into the influence metrics and power interest grids and the silence model. And then we have the collaboration with the stakeholders, doing the assessment and the classification of that, and then engaging with stakeholders, and then doing the stakeholder engagement plan where we have expert judgment, hold meeting, use analytical techniques for level of engagement. Do we have something on the other side also? Yeah, so this is basically the stakeholder engagement assessment metrics level. So we have the unaware, resistant, neutral, supportive, and leading. And then we have the effective collaboration, where we have the daily stand-up meeting, co-located teams, face-to-face communication, and then schedule sessions, for example, milestone review and backlog review. Okay.
Thank you.
No.
Okay, do you have another person with us?
Maybe Abhishek?
Abhishek, yes.
Yeah.
Abhishek, please take the lead for the quality.
Thank you, Ali. So another important knowledge area we have in PMP is quality. When we perform any of the work, we definitely check the quality of the work. In quality concepts, we discussed about cost of conformance and non-conformance, where conformance relate to audit, inspection, and training, and non-conformance relate to reworking, warranty, and bad product. We discussed about a couple of quality theories as well, and we did internal and external benchmarking. We studied about quality management plan, where we talked about KPIs and quality metrics. We also studied about 7 QC tools, that is C&D, flowchart, check sheet, Pareto diagram, scatter diagram, histogram, and affinity diagram. We studied about how to control the quality through prevention, inspection, sampling, tolerance, control limits, and tools. And then we talked about quality assurance, how to do the assurance of the quality through quality audits and process analysis.
Okay, thank you.
All the topic done?
Though there is a two topic is still pending, project integration management
You
and
continue, Ali.
yes, I
Neeraj,
am
you
going
can.
to that. Yes, I am going to. Okay. In the risk management, we have project risk management. Okay. We have the identified the risk, then we use the different technologies, expert judgment, SWOT, prompt list, meeting, data analysis, data gathering, pastel, the VOCA, and TCOP. Okay. Then root cause analysis, fishbone diagram, where we covering the cause and effect diagram. Okay. Basically, these are the same 5 whys used in agile method, assumption and constraint analysis. Source can be used, work breakdown structure. Okay, then we have a qualitative risk analysis where we covering when to use, identify most important risk for the prioritize the risk, rapid and cost effective. PM can get the idea, focus resources and energy on the priority risk, tools and techniques, data analysis, PI metrics, parameters. Then we in parameters, there is a different things we are covering. Then there is a wide degree to which data is useful, examine accuracy, quality, reliability, and integrity. Then there is a quantitative risk analysis where we are going numeric analysis, output sensitivity analysis, EMV simulation, Monte Carlo simulation, and tree analysis. These are basically very expensive, so we are mostly covering the qualitative analysis. And if there is a project requirement, then we are going to use that one. Otherwise, we mostly use qualitative analysis. Then there is a risk register, risk report, classification of the risk, where can occur, approached, classifications. Then risk responses, assign a person, develop strategies, fallback plans, secondary risk. Project integration. Okay. Need-based assessment, business
Thank
case.
you, thank you, thank you, Ali. Time's up. So everything has to be time box. Well done, team three. It was good. The mind maps were good. The coordination were good. Keep up the good work. So now, with keeping the good work, team four, Garant, Nidish, Salman, Wasim Ahmed, Janjua. Please, who is sharing the mind map here? Garant, Nidish,
I can do
Salman,
it, right?
Wasim.
Let me
Please.
share my screen.
Go ahead. Please start. Lead your team in your way.
All right, so let me quickly start with initiation. And so in initiation, right, so the first thing that we do is we get project charter, right? So where we kind of get the authority of managing the project, right? Then we get a business case as well. Business case talks about like, what do we need to do in business, right? What this business is all about. And then we also in initiation, we identify stakeholders. Then we talk about like, the planning thing, right? So in planning, what do? We have, we plan for the overall project plan for the project, right? And then we integration management plan, we construct that. Then scope management plan. In scope management plan, we collect requirements, we create WBS, we define scope, right? And then here we also, create WBS dictionary. In schedule management plan, we define activities, that what are these activities all about. Then sequence activities means ordering these activities, right, to be performed. Then estimate activity duration, right? And then develop scope. Then we have cost management plan, right? So in this cost management plan, we estimate cost, and then we determine budget, right? So we also get this BAC, and then contingency reserves and management reserves. Then we have quality management plan. In planning, we don't have anything to do here in quality management plan in this knowledge area. And then we have resource management plan. So in planning, we also estimate resource activities. Then we have communication management plans. We have, we talked about the communication management plan later as well. Then risk management plan. In planning, we identify risks, we classify risks, right? So risks are like, known, unknown, 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 known, known, and unknown, unknown. Then we perform qualitative risk analysis. Then we also perform quantitative risk analysis if need be, right? So in quantitative risk analysis, we have we do sensitive analysis using tornado diagram. We can also use Monte Carlo analysis. And then we have risk response, planned risk response. In this, we plan a response to each risk, and then we assign risk owners as well. Then procurement management plan, we define source selection criteria. And then we have stakeholder management plan. In this, we create stakeholder engagement plan, and then engagement metrics in which we define power interest grid. That high power, high interest would be managed closely. High power, low interest stakeholders would be, we will be keeping them satisfied. Then low power and high interest, we need to keep them informed. And low power, low interest, we need to keep them monitored, right? Because their kind of interest or power can be changed at any level. Then we have salience models, and then influence metrics, right? That, where these stakeholders lie. Basically, they are upward stakeholders, sideward stakeholders, or downward stakeholders. And we can also use PESTEL to identify stakeholders. In execution, we have these different processes like direct and manage project work, manage project knowledge, manage quality, acquire resources, develop team, manage communications, and implement risk response, conduct procurement, manage stakeholder engagement, in which we calculate number of communication channels as well. And then in monitoring and controlling, we have this monitor and control project work, perform integrated change control, validate scope, control schedule. We do variance analysis in it. We identify this by the source. So scheduled variance should be positive, right? And then SPI should be greater than 1, and similar in control cost as well. Control quality, control resources, monitor resources, then monitor risk, and then we also have control procurement here in this monitor and controlling. And the last in this is closing, right? Close project or phase. In this, we do compile lesson learned, we close all the procurements, we do administrative closure, and then we archive all the documents, and then we also just create
Salman,
the repository.
You just kind of explained the entire PMP yourself.
Okay. Now, we do have agile and tools and techniques as well.
Yeah,
So if
please.
anyone wants to take
That's
the
why.
lead, please go ahead.
Please give it to someone else. Also, maybe Wasim Ahmed Janjua, would you take the
Yes,
lead?
sir. Yes, sir. Sure.
Go ahead.
Sir, for here, we have methodology for agile. In agile, we have, first of all, we have Scrum. In Scrum, can you scroll it up? Okay. In Scrum, we have first we have roles. We have product owner, Scrum master, project teams. We have Scrum board. Then we have in Scrum we have story points. Artifacts are also there. Product backlog, sprint backlog, product increments. Then we have story points. In story points, we have Fibonacci series and Delphini technique. Then we have to decide team velocity. For estimating the velocity, we have estimating velocity, average velocity. We also have the project goal here to release goal, sprint goal, and we are further divided into user stories. In the Scrum, we have the events, which are the sprint planning, sprint review meeting, sprint retrospective, daily sprint stand-up, and sprint backlog refinement. Then we have values in the Scrum, that's transparency, adaptability, and inspection. And then we also have a Scrum of Scrum. Then in Agile, we also have that Kanban. Kanban consists of Kanban board, work in progress, lead time, cycle time. So then we have also have extreme programming in which we have pair programming, and refactoring. We also have test-driven development like write test and code of test.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else left in your team? Any,
Yes,
any
yes,
topic?
yes, sir. We have this life
what is
cycle
left?
selection. The we have this life cycle selections.
Garen,
These are
Garen, can you take Garen?
Okay, sure.
Please.
Okay, so for life cycle selection, there are these 5 types, which are predictive, incremental, iterative, agile, and hybrid. So for predictive, we have a low frequency of delivery and low changes. And for incremental, there's a high frequency of delivery and low changes. And then for the iterative, is low frequency of delivery and high changes. And followed by agile, which is high frequency of delivery and also high changes. Of course, in cases where it's mixed, it's called hybrid, which is a mixture of predictive and agile. And then for the motivation theories, there are these few types. So Maslow on the basic needs and at the 6th level. And for McGregory is a theory X, where people don't work, and theory Y is people work themselves. And also Macklin theory for hygiene agents and motivating agents. So involving working environment, security, safety, and also the appreciation, sense of achievement and responsibility, and also the expectancy theory. And then also there's a Tuckman ladder for team forming, initially forming only, and then whereby they don't know each other. And then after going through different team addressing all the communication, there is like storming where conflict can arise, and where come to norming with better understanding, the team can work stronger. And then later part, they will go towards the performing team, and then the adjourning stage where the team will become strong and then ready for the next project. And then for the leadership style, there are various styles, which are servant leader, autocratic, transformational, transactional, charismatic, lenses, fair, interactional. And we are encouraged to be a servant leader for PMP, whereby we serve the team and then we work closely with the team. Yeah. Okay, further up, please. So for the level of conflict,
let Nidish take over from here. We only have 1 more minute left. Nidish, would you like to take over? Nidish? I guess he's unable to. Garen, please continue.
Sure. Okay, so for conflict, there are various levels towards different type problem solving, disagreement, contest, crusade, and world war. And of course, eventually with conflict, we then need to find out the conflict resolution to find the problem, and explore and evaluate alternative, and then select the best option, the best way to address the resolve the conflict. And then for organization type, there are these 4 types are projectized, matrix, and functional and virtual. So for matrix, there are 3 types, where it's a strong matrix, balanced matrix, and weak matrix. And for functional and also for virtual. And then for companies which has a PMO is actually having 3 types, can be the supportive, directive, and controlling. And for team charter, there are ground rules to talk about share values, guidelines, and conflict resolution. And of course, come to knowledge type, there are explicit knowledge and tacit knowledge. Yeah. That will be all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Team 3 or Team 4. It was a good effort. I really like it. Everyone is doing this. I feel proud. I kind of feel proud. So, Team 5, Ayub, Johnson, Shobha, Shrikant, Yash. Okay, Yash, please continue.
Yeah, zoom out, zoom out. Yeah.
Yeah. We can't hear you, Yash.
Yes, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Yash, please start. Yash, can you start? Yash, I am unable to hear you. Anyone else can take lead from here? Anyone else from their team member? Shrikant, maybe you?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Shobha, you would like to go?
Yes, I'll start that. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so we'll start with needs assessment and benefits management plan, and which we calculate on the basis of IRR, ROI, and cost benefit analysis and all those parameters. And then we come to the business case, and from business case, the organization strategies will decide on what projects to go for. And once we come to the project, can we go to the organization strategies? Scroll down, please. Scroll down. Yeah, further. Further down, organization strategies. We'll start with that first. Yeah. And we have in organization strategies, we have three types of organs: projectized, matrix, functional. And in the organizations types of organization, we also included leadership styles, which we have 6 types of leadership styles: servant leader, laissez-faire, transactional, transformational, charismatic, and interactional. Can we scroll up again, please? No, let's go, yeah, to the project. Yeah, and up. Yeah. So we start with the project charter, which was approved by sponsor. Project charter contains project charter. We need to go for the project charter. What's in the project charter? We have key milestones. Oh, goodness. Yeah, we have key milestones, high-level assumptions and constraints, key stakeholder list. Project manager, approved project manager is assigned here, and approved funding and high-level scope statement is assigned. Further up. Yeah. And then we'll start with the project management plan. Project management plan consists of other main plan management plans, and we'll go up, please. Yeah, we'll start with the first topic, which is scope. In scope, we collect requirements first, and after collecting requirements, we create requirement traceability matrix and requirement documentation. And then we define the scope, and where we have a project scope statement is defined. And then we create a WBS. In WBS, we create a WBS dictionary. We have under that, we have control account, planning packages, and work packages. And after creating that, we validate scope, and then we control scope. And the cost management plan. So in cost management plan, we first plan the cost management. We estimate the cost for all the activities, and then we determine the budget, and we control the cost. And anybody wants to continue with the schedule? Shrikant, you can continue with the schedule.
No problem. Next, I want somebody else. Okay, so I'll also start right now. Okay, schedule. We have plan schedule management, one of the most important topic, and here we sequence that. First, we define the activity, and we make sure that we sequence in order to find out the dependability on each other activities, and we estimate the activity duration, how long we do. In Agile, we do it as a user story point in Fibonacci series. Here in predictive, we do it as a at the work package level, that which is the lowest level of activity. We also make sure that we do the reserve, contingent reserve for this activity that we estimate. Okay, and we develop a schedule, and we control a schedule. That is what we do. And then we have resource, one of the most important topics, so which is virtual team, and co-located team, which is physically present. In planned resource management, we plan like how many people we're going to have in the project. We do the resource matrix, and we also have RACI chart. We assign the responsibility. We allocate resource. We estimate their cost, and we do resource scheduling based on the project requirement. And team charter, one of the ground rules we establish and make sure there is no conflict, and we agree upon the standards that we are going to proceed in the team. And we have the resource calendar to understand when the person is going on leave or not. So, and we have something called as development team. Uh, so when we develop a team, we know that Tuckman ladder, like, it starts with forming, and then there is a little bit of difference of opinion in storming, and they get together and form a V in norming, and they start performing. Most potential stage in the Tuckman ladder, and finally the adjourning. The people move out of the team, and we have conflict management method. One of the things that project manager should be doing initially, conflict should be avoided by the team, whoever is responsible, and project manager will do the coaching part based on the need of the particular conflict. Okay, and he manages the team, he controls the team. And resource management is not only the resource, it also has material, machinery, equipment, and money. Okay, and then we have risk. We plan the risk properly. First, we identify it, and we put that in the risk register, and we make a plan for that. Okay, and we make a contingency reserve for that. And risk analysis, we do qualitative and quantitative. Mostly it is qualitative risk analysis what we do, and there are different tools and types of technique that we do the risk analysis. And we plan the risk response strategy. And if there is any unidentified risk, it is called as an issue, and we put that in a issue log, and we manage it. We do the workaround, and we manage it with the management reserve. Someone else want to take?
I'll take.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
Johnson, it will be good. Please go continue.
Yeah, I'll come to quality management plan. First, we'll plan the quality, then we'll manage the quality. We manage quality, basically focus on the process which we are going to achieve the quality objectives. It will have tools and technical checklists, check sheet, root cause analysis, histogram, scatter diagram. Positive, negative, and this scatter diagram will basically compares two variables that can be positive, negative, or can be no without correlation, any correlation. Then benchmarking, that is something we look outside our organization. Then sampling, that is statistical samplings. Then we have tool, flow chart, affinity diagram, questionnaire and survey. Questionnaire and survey basically for large group of audience. Then control chart. So it has rule of 7, upper control limit, lower control limit. Something beyond the limit, it will be called as an error. Then control quality. Control quality, there are three things. One is corrective action, then preventive action, and deferred repair. Then cost of quality. That is, we will determine the cost of quality as a cost of conformance and cost of non-conformance. And next is communication. In communication, we have communication management plan. We go through communication methodology, communication model, types of communication, that is 4 R's. Then planning communication, manage communication, and monitor communication. Then coming to the stakeholder, we will first identify the stakeholder during the beginning of the project, and we classify them according to the power interest, and we will we'll put them in a register, all the stakeholders. That the stakeholder is a live document. This will be updated throughout the project, and then we'll form a strategy to engage stakeholder, that is called stakeholder engagement plan. We will try to bring the stakeholder interest from actual to desired. According to that, we'll develop a stakeholder matrix. Then coming to procurement, we will develop a procurement management plan. In the procurement management plan, it will tell about how the source will be selected. That is called source selection criteria. There will make or buy analysis will be done. The next is conduct procurement. So it will have all the contract types for the procurement. It can be fixed, time and material, and cost reimbursable. Then in the contract procurement, we will set up a bidder conference, which will give up fairness to all the vendors, potential sellers, basically. Then control procurement. We will have there we will close the procurement. If there is any dispute, we will manage it by looking at the agreement. It can be through a win-win situation with the project manager first. Later, it can be a ADR, alternate dispute resolution. Then it will move to court. That is the last option. So somebody else can take it up from here.
Maybe Ayub, would you like to take that?
Agile is left.
Okay, Ayub, are you here? Okay, Johnson, Johnson, I guess you can carry on.
Hello.
Ayub, yeah, Ayub, please continue. You continue.
Yes. In Agile, hello. We have
Did you
Scrum,
continue?
and the development approach. We will make predictive, adaptive, or hybrid. No, this another no. Can you zoom in? Okay, Scrum. In Scrum, the methodology we use in Agile, we have daily stand-up meeting where we will discuss what we have done yesterday, what we will do today, and we have any impediments. Then there will be sprint planning. Here we will discuss the sprint duration based upon the velocity. For determining the velocity, we have relative estimation, planning poker, monopoly money, Delphi technique. And we have voting, autocratic, fist of five, majority, unanimity, plurality, dot voting. And selection of user stories, we will have Moscow, Kano analysis. Once the user stories is selected and sprint is done, we will review the sprint. And after the sprint, we will have a review meeting with customer, product owner. Once that finished, we will have a sprint retrospective where we will discuss what gone well, what have to be improved, and artifact. We have user story
Okay,
and
Ayub, time's
velocity.
up, brother. Brother,
The
time's
other
up.
methodologies of Agile, we have XP, Kanban, Lean.
Ayub, time's up, brother. So
Can
when
you
time's
zoom?
up, no, time's up. Please stop your screen sharing. So that was time. Ayub, when you are working in a time box, you have to move a little bit more quick. So well done, team 5. So every team has done their great job. Each team have put the mind map they think as right in front of us. So well done, each team. Let's unmute yourself and had a round of applause. Please, everyone. Let's have a round of applause for everyone. Well done. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining, for giving your time. Let me just stop it on YouTube. Oh.